Just based on the name alone, I was excited to see what Hell's Paradise was about. But while I was watching the first few episodes, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, my brain was melting. I was so bored. It's not even that the show was bad. I love the premise. The whole false paradise setting is gorgeous, really creative. The characters are well written, they look cool, but there was just something missing. And when I asked y'all, half of y'all didn't even watch the show. There was this one comment that really stuck out to me. Kinda off topic, but lately anime doesn't hit the same for me. Everything seems so repetitive, especially the characters. And that got me thinking, right? I've seen so many shows that this story about this semi-immortal mass murderer ninja that can light himself on fire was boring to me. So I'm thinking, do I just not like anime anymore? Cause we've been getting some bangers like Chainsaw Man, Heavenly Delusion, Demon Slayer, Oshinoko, Mashle, One Piece, the list goes on. But there was something about this show that just didn't click with me when I first watched it. So I kind of went on this deep introspective journey to find out why I could not enjoy this anime. And this is what I came up with. Animation is one of the best ways to tell a story. If you're skilled enough, there's an endless amount of different techniques you can use to say something. Just look at any scene from the Spider-Verse movies. The amount of effort that goes into these movies is crazy. The attention to detail, the way the colors and the music create the perfect mood for each scene is really impressive. Just to give you one example, each part of Hobie or Spider-Punk's character is animated on a different frame. These people are insane. It takes genuine love and respect for your craft to put that amount of work into it. And it's these types of stories that enhance the overall experience of what you're watching. The deeper you can dive into the animation process or the voice work, it makes you appreciate the end result even more. And it makes you feel more connected to what you're watching. Which brings me back to anime. Some of you fossils, you geezers, grew up watching If you're around my age, you probably grew up with the big three. Anime is a lot more popular now, so there's like 40 new shows coming out every season. It gets overwhelming trying to pick which one is worth your time, so we kind of just go based off of what we're used to, what we think we might like. And you know what that does? It creates a certain level of expectation for a show to be as good as the one that you liked before, especially when it's animated by the same studio. Mappa has been popping off recently, filling their schedule with any new popular manga, just ready to animate it. It's become this double-edged sword because they're gaining popularity and respect in the industry, but the people that work for the studio are suffering. I've talked about this before in my Chainsaw Man video. These animators are working tirelessly to meet these deadlines, and they are falling apart. And unfortunately, Hell's Paradise got the shortest end of the stick. I don't know if that's how you say that, but I wrote it in the script. It's not terrible, but we can tell which shows got the most love. So after learning all this information, I had a choice to make. I was gonna give this show one more chance, and if I didn't like it, I was gonna scrap this video and talk about some ecchi show or something. Well, here we are. And Hell's Paradise is... So we have our main character, Gabimaru. He comes from this ruthless clan where the leader is this immortal tyrant that killed Gabimaru's parents for trying to leave the village and live peacefully with their son. Needless to say, our boy is no stranger to a little murdering. So basically he was trained to rid himself of his emotions and become an assassin. And he did a pretty good job. He got a cool nickname, he got married to the chief's daughter, things were looking up for him. Hey man, you think I could go ahead and leave the village with your daughter? She seems chill, I think we'll live pretty happily together. Of course, dude. Just do me one favor, man. Do me a solid, dude. Just go on this one last mission for me. Alright man, what is it? Boss man did not approve. So since he refused to work for the chief and also pretty much refused to die, he was sent to paradise with a bunch of other freaks as well as their own personal guards / executioners. And we'll get to the best girl in a second, but first I gotta talk about my favorite character. Good talk. Sagiri is the lowest ranked executioner because she is a woman. Her life is this constant uphill battle of trying to prove herself to everyone around her, but that doesn't mean she's weak. She could still chop heads off. It'll just take her a little while to get there. So after being tasked with babysitting Gabimaru, she sees him in action, how he reluctantly but efficiently takes out his opponents, and she admires his strong will. What I love about these two and their interactions with each other is that they are two sides of the same coin. While Sagiri tries to steal her resolve and kill without thinking, Gabimaru is trying to forget that hollow version of himself and become more human. Even though these guys are all criminals on death row, and some of them definitely deserve to be executed, that doesn't stop you from rooting for them. Each and every single person on this island has something that they're fighting for. For most of them, it's as simple as wanting to live a peaceful life with their families. They do an amazing job of making you feel for these characters, but in the back of your mind, you know that not everyone is going to make it off this island alive. In fact, we don't even know if any of them will make it out. And that's what I like about this show. It never lets you get too comfortable. The island is just as much of a mystery to the cast as it is to us. Whenever they find out a new piece of information, we fall deeper into the rabbit hole. So if you haven't seen it yet, just watch it. People don't like to be wrong, and people do not like to waste their time. So much so that they will do anything to avoid those two things. They're just weird like that, but I don't blame them. Everyone has that one show that they think is the best thing to ever grace this planet, but when you try to get somebody else to watch it, they turn into an animation expert or like a literary analysis professional or something. We just like what we like, sometimes for no reason, and that's where the fun part comes in. Exploring all these different worlds, seeing what other people like, and finding out if your interests align. I thought Hell's Paradise was going to be another generic battle shonen with garbage animation, but then I sat down with some snacks, put my phone away, and I actually watched the show. And I loved it. My suggestion to you, if you're struggling to really enjoy anime or whatever new thing you're trying to get into, try not to think about everything you've seen before or everything you could be watching. Just try it out for one episode. Sit down and fully immerse yourself in the world in front of you. When you get rid of your expectations or your fear that you might be wasting your time, you end up appreciating the smaller details that you might have missed before. So give yourself a chance to enjoy something. And if you don't, there's like a million other shows you could watch. Pick something else. And who knows, one of those shows could end up being your next favorite. Everybody keeps trying to tell me how my outro's supposed to go. Nah, I'ma do my own thing. If you want to support me, maybe you want to get a little parasocial. Maybe that's you, I don't know. Go check out that Patreon. I talk a little bit more about my life and stuff like that, and we cool over there. It's a little community. We chill, we pretty chill, man. We will welcome you with open arms. How do you do an outro? Like, what are you supposed to say? This is like, you know, when you're on the phone with somebody and you're like, no, you hang up. No, you hang. That's what this is. Every time I get to the outro, that's exactly what I'm doing. No, you hang up. Stop playing.